are being killed, these are the people police have killed. How many civilians are killed by civilians?
But spokesperson,
just a minute. You see, Mwaura,
that every time you ask that question, that is how you
Mwaura,
respond.
let me tell you, I speak for police. And not just
and that's
a minute.
The discussion we're having here today. It's about the police.
I want you to understand one thing. You cannot compare the people killed by the police without also getting worried by the people who are being killed by criminals. You can never come up with a good comparison. We're not saying what police has done is right. And that is why we are saying this is a country that has laws and procedures must be followed. And that is why in my initial statement I said we don't protect any policeman who has committed an offense. We don't. And we don't condone it. And it should not appear that we protect officers who have committed offenses.
Okay, but
you must also get very clearly and ask yourself a question. How many Kenyans are killed by criminals in a year?
Criminals are not designated as protectors of people.
Listen,
you see, that's the problem we're having.
Any person who is killed,
today.
Maiga,
I say this.
You will be making your country a lawless country.
No, spokesperson.
All right. You have a choice. You are younger than me.
Morara had a question for you. Morara had a question for you.
I think what Owino is really trying to do is to pass the buck.
I'm not passing anything.
You're passing the buck and you're shifting responsibility.
Excuse me.
Owino.
You are becoming irresponsible adults.
No.
Police have a role.
Okay.
Morara.
Let's have one at a time.
I will not allow that.
One at a time.
Apart from being a policeman. No. Excuse me. Apart from being a policeman, I'm an adult, a father, a brother to somebody, and I have a responsibility to protect all these young men. And we must agree that no young man kill this young man without my action as a policeman.
I totally agree with you.
Yes, and that is why the policemen also don't have a right. And that is why you cannot condemn every policeman. Talk as if every policeman is filthy. As if the police is not protecting you. That is immoral.
Okay. What are the accountability mechanisms within the police service? It is the internal affairs unit.
Yes.
No. You had your turn.
Yes.
It's the internal affairs unit.
Yes.
That is.
Are they doing their work?
I don't think so. It is the Independent Policing Oversight Authority.
Are they doing their work?
I don't think they are actually measuring to the limit.
You are just completing. You are just completing your term.
Let me tell you the reason.
I hope next time I join IPOA.
The record of conviction.
No, you are just finishing your term.
Can I finish my statement?
In the next time.
The record of conviction far from IPOA for the time that they've been there. Under 10, at least 4 police officers. If we want to believe this mantra that is a few rotten apples that are doing this and ABCD, we want to see ruthless, efficient prosecution of all the police officers who are engaged in criminality. But you can't tell me with those figures and numbers that 4 is a number to actually celebrate and just say, you know what, we're doing something.
I pray for one day you get caught by criminals. No, that's not a fair comment. That's not a fair comment.
You're supposed to protect me from
but apparently you don't appreciate what we do.
No, it's okay. Let's get
or you get an experience from a Kenyan.
Spokesperson, I am the moderator. Tabitha, can we get a quick comment from you before we get another question?
Just threatening me. You should be protecting me from those.
I am doing my best. That's why I have taken the heat away from
get hold of.
Please, just a brief comment, please.
I think one thing that I agree with the police spokesperson is that we should not view the entire police force as being guilty of criminality, and that is why the issue that George has raised is very important, that when those few engage in crime, we actually see the implications being taken. But I think it is important on the issues that have been raised about there being double standards, about some places being policed in a more humane way than some places, that the police, and not just the police, even other law enforcement agencies take it upon themselves to respect the rule of law and to know that what is right in Karen is also the same thing that is right in Kariobangi. There should be no difference between how these neighborhoods are policed, because all these people are paying taxes just like people in Kileleshwa and other neighborhoods. So I think it is not fair for us to start saying that, oh, the police are being wrongly accused without proving to us that there is enough being done to remedy the situation?
Okay, that's a fair question. Masirima.
Kiptoruka at Sankip Kiprotuka anasema, as much as we love the police, they are our brothers and sisters.
I may not give you a solution to all the problems you are facing on the ground, but you are supposed to also ensure that
askari anaweza kujaribu kumdhulumu na kumnyima haki.
Kwanza kabisa ni kukushukuru kwa sababu ulioyafanya yanaambatana na katiba yetu. Katiba yetu katika ibara ya 3 inasema kwamba kila Mkenya ana jukumu la kulinda na kuitekeleza ile katiba. Hivi kwamba ulipofika pale na ukasema kwamba alivyokuwa akitendewa yule mzee ni kitendo ambacho kilikiuka katiba ama sheria, ulifanya jukumu lako kama Mkenya. Na leo mchana mimi na ndugu yangu pale Bwana Kiama tulikuwa na kikao na Inspector Generali wa polisi wa mashtaka ya umma ODPP, na mambo ambayo umeyasema ndio yaliibuka pale, kwa sababu kuna wengi haswa wakereketwa haki za kibinadamu kama vile Bwana Kiama alivyosema pale, ambao shida yao kubwa ni kwamba wajaribu kuingilia kati ili kuhakikisha kwamba haki imetendeka. Na katika mjadala wetu na Bwana ODPP na Inspector General wa polisi tumekubaliana kwamba mambo kama haya yakifanyika ni lazima upige ripoti wa asasi husika, Moja ni Internal Affairs Unit, kuna pia Kenya National Police, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, kuna IPOA, kuna asasi mbalimbali, kuna hata Defenders Coalition, hivi kwamba usije ukabeba huo mzigo peke yako. Ikiwa kuna mambo kama haya yatafanyika, tafadhali chukua hatua za mapema na kuhakikisha kwamba umeripoti katika asasi ambazo zinahusika na mambo haya. And having said that, Mashirima, just allow me very quickly to just comment on this, because I know I may not get time on this. It is true, and again from our own research, it is very true that we criminalize poverty in this country. That is why the Office of the Chief Justice of this Republic, in collaboration with the Legal Resources Foundation and Rodi Kenya, came up with a research in 2016, and in that research, most of the people in our prisons and cells and all this are there on drunk and disorderly or loitering and other things like that. We have in place a task force to do a comprehensive audit of our penal code, hivi kwamba hizi sheria ambazo ni za kikoloni ambazo zinanyanyasa Wakenya wa kawaida, hizi sheria zimeondolewa katika vitabu vyetu. And then lastly, section 37, policing peaceful assemblies. My brother from the university, we are again working very closely with the police, we are working with the ODPP to ensure kwamba tumekuwa na mikakati ama mpangilio haswa kuhakikisha kwamba ibara ya 37 ya katiba yetu inalindwa. So we'll be developing those guidelines fairly soon to ensure that when you go out there to demonstrate, haki zako zinalindwa na pia majukumu yako kwa Wakenya wengine pia unayatekeleza.
And hopefully those guidelines will be public and available for all to see.
Absolutely.
Okay. Mashima, let's get some last few questions.
Naam, kuna mmoja hapa, Dr. Carter anasema, I think it's very easy to fix issues in the police force. Most of their top bosses lack integrity. The force cannot be fixed so long as the bosses act dirty and are in politics indirectly. Yaani kuna mmoja hapa ambaye ana swali kuhusiana na wale wengi ambao wamewasifu polisi. Kuna Vincent Ubaga amesema, we have to appreciate what our police men and women are doing. Though I agree with the police spokesman, what he's saying is that not all police are good and not all are bad. They should just weed out the bad ones and retain the good ones, but all in all, I echo what they do. Swali lako kuhusiana na wale ambao wanafanya kazi nzuri.
I'm Moses Chalo, a student. I'll direct my question to Charles Owino. Now, about these police officers who have been doing good, what plans do you have or what have you been doing to reward them, at least maybe to motivate others, maybe to do good? Because we have seen in other institutions or rather in other areas, like we have the teacher of the year, like why can't we have maybe the office of the year, maybe to motivate others, maybe to do good, at least maybe because this can motivate others at least to come from the other side of doing evil and be at least good officers. Thank you.
Wacha nimpatie mwanadada mwingine nafasi hapa aweze kuuliza swali, labda kwa kuendeleza tu swali ambalo lilikuwa limetajwa hapo awali.
Patience, and this is my question to the police spokesman. And I'm talking about the protests that we hold in universities and also the protests held by other organizations. And we see many a times we see that the policemen use live bullets instead of the rubber bullets that are clearly stipulated in our regulations. And yet Kenya is seen as one of the countries in the sub-Saharan as one of the most progressive laws, one that has the most progressive laws. Does that not show that there is a problem also in the implementation of our laws, also in the police sector?
Na asante sana. Kuna lingine hapa kwa Owino. Kuna mmoja anauliza, kwa nini polisi wanapopatikana na hatia hawachukuliwi hatua, wanahamishwa tu kutoka lile eneo wanalofanya kazi wanapelekwa eneo lingine? Hizo tabia si wanazipeleka tu kule wanakokwenda?
Okay, I see the spokesperson has the bulk of the questions, but I want to allow others to weigh in as well. And Bwana Peter Kiama, I can start with you. Just let me get your thoughts on this. And because I think our time is almost up, I can also give you a chance to give you a final comment on this.
Nafikiri ni muhimu kuelezea kwamba katika harakati za kufanya kazi, maafisa wa polisi ni muhimu watumie, hawana choice. They must abide by the law. I think we start there. And that is the basis of our discussion. That policing has to be done within the law and the constitution, not outside. And so the debate about, yes, we agree that Kenyans are being hurt and killed by criminals, but that is no excuse for the police to shoot to kill. It is no excuse on that. On patrols, it is true. Every night in this city, we have police swoops happening, especially in the poor neighborhoods. I do think there's a serious problem of supervision of officers on patrol. And that has been recorded. It's on record, even from police reports. There's a serious problem, and we expect that after the streamlining of the police command, we will see change. We now have only one central command. At the police station, we have the OCS and nobody else. Before, we used to have the in charge of AP, in charge of DCI, in charge of all these. Now we have only one officer. At the county, we have only the county commander. So we expect enhanced accountability. We are yet to see this. I do hope that Mr. Owino will be able to share with us, what they are doing to ensure that this now streamlined command will deliver better results for Kenyans. Because we've really worked on streamlining that command so that there's no confusion as to who is responsible. And that police officers on patrol are properly supervised. Not just let out there with Pro Box vehicles that have double number plates. You see, because that is the experience of a good number of people in this audience. Police officers with double number plates. We don't know whether these are police vehicles, whether they are whose vehicles are they. We have experiences, Wahiga, in our case files of young people arrested, put at the back of Pro Box vehicles, and a rope tied around their neck, and money being demanded. We have that evidence on.
And if you don't give the money,
you end up dead.
You could lose your life.
Not nearly. You end up dead. So we are discussing a systemic issue here. We are not condemning the entire police service. I think it's good that I clarify that. Mm-hmm. We have very professional police officers, but a good number of them are not daring to come out and do the good things because they fear the rogue, the criminals within the service. And those criminals are not few. There are many. If you count each police station,
yes,
and what each people in each police station experience, there are many.
So tell me this.
And so there needs to be a very systemic approach to cleaning up the service.
That was going to be my question.
We tried vetting. Mm-hmm. Vetting failed. I do think that the future of the National Police Service is giving more power, more resources to the Internal Affairs Unit, giving it independence of action, giving it independence of budget, so that they can properly institute a culture of accountability within the service itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think that is your final comment, Tabitha. How would you conclude this discussion?
It is important that proper vetting is done for police being recruited, and even through their service, there should be continuous training and continuous vetting so that they are held accountable. And just like in every other institution, they are like the key performance indicators that the police want to be reflected in the way that people work are seen by the people that are being vetted. And then it's important for us as a community to work closely with the police. We have to admit that not all policemen are criminals, and those who are criminals, when they are held accountable, we have a responsibility also as the society that is being policed to share these positive stories that we have so that there is a balance and we don't end up seeing more negativity that can eventually lead us to lawlessness and lack of trust in the police. And then it is important that the police welfare is also looked into so that even as they go to work, excuses of their not being properly paid or living in conditions that are not very suitable for them don't come up. So I think, like when he mentioned the reforms, it is up to them to also, when they're given such allowances, they have to find ways of working to improve the situation that their people are working in. And then besides the continuous vetting, I think as technology continues to evolve, our police have to get to a point where they use tech for good so that it helps them to defend themselves and to prove that in a certain situation this was justified or this was not. So I know it's going to take some time for us to get to a point where the police are willing to use body cams and some of these other devices that can help them document everything that is happening. But I believe that using such things will be a starting point for us to see that surely this policeman was on the right, this one was on the wrong, and when they're on the the right, then we are able to get more trust in them.
Fair enough. Lots of suggestions.
So that I just make my comment and then...
Sir, you just make... Okay, so if it's short, sir...
Yeah,
yes.
Because I know he'll speak for much longer. I have a few police heroes. And one of them is that police officer who actually came out during the heightened political election environment to calm down a crowd of young men who are baying for each other's blood. If that police officer can do that, or Owino can do that with me when we are sitting on this platform, it starts from there. How we engage, from a point of respect, from a point of civility, from a point of acknowledging that there is something that is wrong that we need to fix. Police officers should be people that Kenyans run to, not people that Kenyans run away from, as the report that you quoted from Transparency International of 2016 indicated. And for Kenyans to run to police officers, they need to change their mindset, they need to change their attitude, they need to be more friendly, they need to create a conducive environment so that when they say wao ni utumishi kwa wote, basi iwe kwamba wao ni utumishi kwa wote. La mwisho ni kwamba katika utendakazi wetu sisi kama shirika la kutetea haki za binadamu, we have a responsibility, and that responsibility is holding all security organs accountable, including the police. So when I come here and make these statements and declarations, I want Charles Owino and the Police Service Commission and all the security agencies to know that we are doing this because we recognize there is a problem and we need to address it. Okay. If we take the ostrich approach, burying our head in the sand, we won't resolve the issues.
We won't resolve the issues. Thank you.
Okay, I'll be very fast because I know you have very little time. The issue of rewarding police officers, yes, we do. One of the persons that have been in the forefront in rewarding police officers is Chandaria Foundation. Almost every year they give awards to brave police officers who have done good jobs. We also promote within our system, we commend, we give them letters of commendation. So we reward a number of police officers who do well. The issue of we don't take action against police, it is not true. The other day when officers were stealing in Isili, we arrested them. We are police. So we took action and we took them to court. We have a number of officers that we sack almost on monthly basis. You can't miss us sacking 1 or 2 officers. Nobody sends us to sack them. We sack them within the standard. We have standing procedures that we manage our affairs. So very many police officers, and you know, even from your home areas, that we have sacked. So we take action. We jail, we sack. Yes, it's true. And the issue of use of rubber bullets, yes, we use rubber bullets, but also you will never carry guns without a live bullet. Somebody can just come and pick them from you. But to use a live bullet in a demonstration, there must be a standard procedure, a strict standard procedure. And that is why when you use live bullets in a demonstration, you take responsibility as an individual. A number of people have suffered. Lastly, I would want you young men, let nobody lie to you that a policeman cannot, that there's a law that prevents a policeman from using his firearm against you. They can. The position is the firearm must be used lawfully. And if it is not used lawfully, then that person who has misused his firearm must take responsibility, including getting jailed or whatever it is.
Okay.
But you must know it can be used against you. Number 2, it is your responsibility. Those of you who are still young and can join the service, come and join the service. And grow in the service. And if you have an opportunity, it takes just one person to change all these things that we are talking about. Just one person. People may talk, we may be so many, but at the end of the day, the person who makes changes in a particular institution or a particular country or in the world is just one person, not many. So I would want to encourage you, and I also want to encourage you to understand that every day the police protects you. Okay. If today I see doctors going on strike, as we cannot, if we attempt to go on strike a single day, the country will not be governable. So we cannot. So thank you so much. Be encouraged.
You've spoken to the young people here.
Yes.
What's your message to the police watching the broadcast tonight? serving across the country.
Police officers,
you've had the feedback.
Yes. Police officers are officers of the law. Their duty is to enforce laws and regulations, and therefore every officer must work within the law. If you don't work within the law and you disgrace out of the law, one, it will be unfortunate for us as a country, and number two, you will take responsibility as an individual. So every policeman must know that he must act within the law and must remember that he took an oath of an office. And lastly, you must also understand that the job you do as a policeman is simply a job that you've taken to earn yourself a living, but not a job to be used to steal from others, and not a job to be used to destroy others. We have a duty to protect the people of this country, and our joy can only be if we protect the people of this country. And that is why I'm very happy for my colleague who is the DCI, that he has given us a very good name.
Okay.
That even cabinet secretaries, when they hear about Kinoti, they want to take off, especially when you know you stole yesterday. So I want to say that that is what we want. We want to see more officers that would be respected, more officers that would be able to protect their people, give our country a good name, to make sure that Kiama does not earn money for nothing.
Fair enough. Thank you. And I think you made your point clearly to each of my panelists who have been able to help us in what has been a complicated discussion, nevertheless, but I think we've been able to get through some of the issues. Thank you. We had George Morara, the Vice Chair, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. Thank you for joining us today. Of course, Charles Owino, the police spokesperson, asante sana for taking time to answer lots of questions that Kenyans have. We've also had Tabitha Mwangi, head of the security program at the Center for International and Security Affairs, together with Peter Kiama, the Executive Director of the Independent Medical Legal Unit, and an amazing audience that have been able to fire quite some questions towards our panel here as well. And to many people who are watching us from home who have sent feedback, I don't know if Mashirima will take us through a few of those even as we wrap up the program here today.
Naam, kuna wengine ambao wanasema kuwa kuna yale mazuri yanayosemwa na Owino, lakini kwa ground mambo ni tofauti. Vincent Ubaga anasema the police should just be well motivated in terms of money, welfare, resources, and they will perform better. Maswali ni mengi, hata sijui nianzie wapi tumalizie wapi, lakini labda kuna huu ujumbe ambaye naweza kumpatia Owino hapo. Kuna wale ambao wanahisi kuwa kuwepo na baraza ya polisi na wananchi ili watu waweze kuelewana, isije tu ni wakati mmoja ambapo tunakuja tunazungumza tunaelewana hapa, lakini kwa ground mambo ni different. Naitwa Mashirima Kapombe, usiku mwema.
Nap Baby Diapers keeps baby skin soft and dry due to improved distribution layers that quickly disperse the liquid into the diaper core. With Nip Nap, life just got better for baby. Proudly made in Kenya.
Baite bwana, baite murume. We wacha bwana. Unanipigia simu saa hii? Si utafanya ninyonga bwana. Unataka mira yangu ikatike? Ai bwana, murume ufai kunipeleka na hiyo ongea. Murume unanipeleka na ongea ya gari ni kama imeibiwa bwana. Hata ama nikukatie hiyo simu.
Dial *811*404# to get Vitae as your skiza tune.
My mother was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer in 2012. If you're not a professional caregiver, meaning you've not been hired to look after somebody who is unwell, if you are an immediate relative looking after a parent, or a parent looking after a child, or a nephew or niece looking after an auntie or an uncle, and you are the primary caregiver, be brave enough to approach somebody and tell them you just want to sit and talk. You may be well physically, you may be well financially, you may be even be able to afford looking after this person, but if you're not taking care of mentally, spiritually, emotionally, having someone to talk to, someone to vent to, because there are days you are going to get angry. Find somebody who has walked the same journey with you to hold your hand and walk with you. For me, I think I was afraid, not afraid of, I think I felt too brave to ask for help, and it wasn't right. It does mess you up. So find someone who has walked the same journey and ask them to help you and get advice from them on how they can help you to walk that journey.
Did you know that you can watch Citizen TV live stream on the go anytime, anywhere? Just download the View Sasa app or the Citizen TV app. Both are available on Play Store and App Store. You can also watch Citizen TV on our website on www.citizentv.co.ke.
Shabiki power that in, Shabiki power that in, Shabiki power that in.
Play to win with Shabiki Power 13 midweek jackpot at Kenya shillings 10 million for 13 correct predictions. Now with bonus prizes of 12, 11 and 10. For only 100 bob, predict the outcome and stand a chance to win 10 milli. To register, SMS joint 29063. Shabiki Power 13.
Good beer classes are just as important as beer. You'll want to sample each beer in a stem glass, not a pint glass.
After a long day, unwind to a superbly crafted and refreshing Kenyan beer. That beer is KB Lager. Enjoy the new KB Lager from Kirachi Breweries Limited. Total satisfaction starts with the first sip.